My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. This is the only channel dedicated to UFC fight picks and DraftKings lineups run by MMA insiders and professional fighters. Every week, I join Dan Kramer and Nick Newell, two longtime professional fighters that have fought at the highest levels on the planet, as well as Jacob Lyons, a skinny kid from Indiana. So join us every single week for our full fight card breakdowns, our individual fight card breakdowns, our betting guide, and our DraftKings lineups. Next up at UFC Vegas 30, we have Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Michel Prazeres. So I'm trying to get better with these names, and I really think I am getting. The most interesting thing about this fight is it may not statistically be, but the biggest reach advantage in the history of the UFC. It is like a full foot, 12 full inch reach advantage for Shavkat Rakhmonov. And I don't usually care, right? I'm not one of the guys that'll just, there's a 3-inch reach advantage, so he's definitely going to win. That's what topology tells me. But a full foot reach advantage, 12 full inches of reach advantage that's like fighting your kid brother. Like, that's a big deal. Anyway, Michel Prazeres is...
You fought my kid brother, right, Angelo, one time?
I don't remember that. He's 4-1 in his last 5, coming off a loss. Rakhmonov is 5-0 in his last 5, and that's because he's 13-0 in his entire career. Michel Prazeres will do anything to get you to the ground. That includes wild punches, dragging people to the ground. It is get to the ground at all costs for Prazeres. And then Rakhmonov can beat you anywhere. He has a 100% finish rate. In 13 fights, a 100% finish rate. He's very hard to hit, and he has a ton of power. He has very good wrestling and judo defense, and he's very active when he does get taken down. So he basically, the story is Rakhmonov can win anywhere. I think he's absolutely worth the $90 price tag. The only thing that worries me about this is, he's got that height and reach advantage. I mean, the way Prazeres is built, he can just kind of duck under that, absorb whatever the hell he's going to absorb on the way in, and just get to some legs and, desperately drag to the ground. And when you get to the ground, he's very competent down there. So that's the only thing that worries me, is that Prazeres will literally take whatever he needs to take on the way in just to get in and drag to the ground. But I think Rakhmonov can win anywhere and basically will win anywhere. Jacob, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm going to take a line out of your playbook, because you always say when one fighter just has more ways to win than the other fighter. I think that's exactly what this is with Rakhmonov. He's undefeated for a reason. He has all those finishes for a reason. Michael actually only has he has 14 decisions out of his 26 wins, so he's not really a finisher himself, except for with submissions. The only thing that would worry me in this fight is if Rakhmonov just keeps trying to get a guillotine. So if Michael keeps shooting in and Rakhmonov has a good guillotine, so if he just constantly tries to keep chasing that guillotine, you could find a way to lose a decision like that. If you end up on your back and then you can't really get up as fast as you'd like. So that's the only thing that would worry me, but I think that Rakhmonov should dominate this fight wherever he wants to dominate the fight. So he's in my lineup at $9,100. And the monkey knife fight, man, this was a tough one. I'd rather hear what you guys have to say on that first.
It is a tough one because the dude is 13-0 with 13 finishes. So logic will tell you he'll get a finish here, but Prazeres it's got to be one of the toughest guys he's ever fought. So this may be the man that doesn't get stopped. And if that's the case, you got to go more, because I think Prazeres will be very busy coming in, trying to get those takedowns, and Rakhmonov will just be unloading, defending the takedowns on his back. He's very busy. So, but I think the safe.
Yeah, this is what do they say when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object or whatever? Because there's a 13-0 with 13 finishes, and then Michael's never been finished. So something's going to happen here.
Yeah, and exactly. Like, somebody, every time we talk about this, this has never happened. It's never happened until it happens. Somebody's always undefeated until they lose. Somebody never gets finished until they do. So this is, I'm positive Rakhmonov is going to win, but I don't know where to put the. Listen,
Is this your lock? Is this your lock, Angelo?
There's no
Are you making a
jinxing
lock?
here, man. There's no jinxing here. I was fantastic last week. I'm going to ride that train, but I do think the over on rounds may be the appropriate prop bet here.
I
Because
did the best last week.
because in what? Just DraftKings, not your picks, not your bets. Anyway, Danny, what are your
All
thoughts?
right, let's move on. Yeah, I agree with everything you guys said. I think Rakhmonov's the side. I don't know that I'm going to spend $9,100 on him. I mean, Prazeres is very good. He looks good. He's but got a bunch of UFC fights. The thing about him though is he's 39 years old and he hasn't fought in 2 years, I think. So, you know, if that weren't the case, I'd be like, all right, this could be a tougher fight for Rakhmonov than we think. But yeah, I think he's the side. I think he can win this fight anywhere. He does. I mean, he's subbed Oliveira with that guillotine. That's a legit sub win. So I think he's the side, but I don't think I'm going to play this on either side in DraftKings. And from a betting standpoint, I don't know. I'm going to look throughout the week and see if a prop jumps out of me. But right now, I got nothing. And then monkey knife fights. I think it's going to be less, more, maybe. But
It's a hard
I don't know.
one.
That's a tough line, yeah. Or
Especially
less. I don't know. 29. It's hard to get. They're splitting these numbers pretty good now. So you almost got to find the middle.
it's definitely hard, especially because I just don't know if Rakhmonov's going to keep that 13 stoppage streak. And if he does, then you got to go.
According to my patterns, he will.
Oh.
Your pattern of it's been 100% of the time, every time so far. So it would just stay that way.
To infinity
Yeah.
and beyond.
Either way, I'm personally going to wait to see what these lines do. And then maybe I'll do something later in the week.